Hi, welcome in. It's Shaped by Kate, and today we are going to do a yoga practice for our spines. We'll be going through heart openers and twists. Today, let's start in a seated position on the middle of our mat. Sit up nice and tall at first in an easy pose. Start to bring awareness for that breath so you can use it as we find twist and open up our heart. You really want that breath connected to your movement. Find 2 more breaths like this, and then we'll start our movement. Breathe in, and let's clasp our hands behind our head with the elbows pointing out. As you inhale, go ahead and open up your heart and look towards the sky. Then as you exhale, round the spine, bow the head, and almost think about touching the elbows together. Good. Inhale, lift back up, find that heart opener. Exhale, come back into that rounded spine, also called seated cat. Let's find 1 to 2 more rounds at your own pace. Beautiful. Go ahead and sit up nice and tall. Drop your arms by your sides. And let's switch up our seated position. We're going to come into a thunderbolt pose, or if you can, a hero pose with the hips in between your heels. Inhale, reach your arms to the sky. Exhale, twist to the right and look to the right. As you exhale again, try to look over your right shoulder, deepening your twist. Inhale to center. Exhale, twist to the left. Using that second exhale to look and gaze over your shoulder. This way we're using our entire spine. Now let's breathe in, come through center, and do that again. This time follow your breath at your own pace rather than just watching me. Beautiful. Come back to center, and now we'll find some back bending twist. So you're going to reach that right hand behind you and lean back, and then swoop that left arm in front and reach to the sky. And then you're going to switch. Sweep that left hand back behind you, right arm reaches to the sky, opening up your heart each time and just sort of switching back and forth in a sweeping, scooping motion. Finding nice open-hearted twists. We'll find a couple more, and then we'll come away from this kneeling position. Beautiful. Finding that last one, and then let's head into our tabletop. So walk those hands forward. If that was a lot on your knees, go ahead and just lengthen and shake out each leg. Once situated in tabletop, let's breathe in, reach the right arm forward, left leg back, find a bird dog. Feel that tall length in your spine. Gaze down at the earth, feeling that pull from your fingertips to your toes. And then exhale, set the left leg down, and let's inhale, reach that right arm to the sky. And find our thread the needle. Exhale to twist, keeping those hips square. Open your heart to the left. I personally like to extend my left arm forward so there's no weight on that hand. Beautiful. Now come out of that pose the same way you came in, unwinding your twist. And let's find the other side. Inhale, left arm forward, opposite leg back. Feel that extension. Keep reaching that left hand forward, drop the right knee, and then inhale, sweep the left arm to the sky, exhale, twist, thread the needle. Optional extension of the right arm towards the front of your mat. Be mindful of that left hip dropping, keep them square so you find that twist. Breathe and hold in this gentle little heart hug in a gentle twist. Beautiful. Unwind your thread the needle, and we're going to find thread the needle again, but a different variation. Go ahead and use your right hand and wrap it across your chest and catch hold of the outer armpit area Then inhale, lift the shoulder, look towards the sky. And then exhale, thread your shoulder to touch your left bicep. Inhale, repeat, lift, exhale, thread. So a smaller thread the needle where it works more your upper spine, especially if you tend to be really hypermobile or really flexible. Beautiful, find that last one, and then inhale, let's find that full thread the needle, extend the right arm, exhale to thread. Then this time, lift the left hand to the sky, flip the palm, bend the elbow, and set that back hand on your hip, finding a half bind pose. Holding for an inhale, exhale, and then we'll come to the other side. Once in tabletop, wrap that left hand across your chest and catch hold of that right outer armpit area. Inhale, lift the shoulder to the sky. Exhale, press it towards your right bicep. Repeat, working through your upper spinal flexibility. Sometimes when we twist, we think we need to use the arms, but really we're just twisting those vertebrae from left to right, and the arms can kind of force us to twist more than we actually should, which is why I really like this exercise. For your last one though, let's find that full thread the needle. Inhale to reach, exhale to thread. Reach that right arm to the sky and bend at the elbow, find your half bind. I like to activate my hand against my back, so just lightly pressing that back hand against your hip, it'll really activate the front part of your shoulder. Beautiful, go ahead and unwind your half bind and your needle. And now let's come on to our belly for these next poses. So walk those knees back and lower the belly to the earth. Keep the hands by the chest and press the tops of the feet into your yoga mat. Then on your inhale, lift the chest, lift the gaze, finding cobra. Exhale to lower. Now again, if you tend to overstretch or overextend in your poses, go ahead and reach your back hands to your lower spine and try to lift into cobra without your hands. If you can't do that, you can also just reach your hands behind by your hips. Then when you're ready, inhale, lift the gaze, lift the chest, and see how flexible that spine is or strong that spine is without your hands. You're welcome to add in reps. Exhale to lower, inhale to lift, following your breath as you lower and lift. Beautiful, find one more breath. And this time when you exhale, lower down, release those hands from off your back or by your sides. Place the hands by your chest, but just let them hover. Inhale, lift into that floating cobra. Then exhale, press the hands down and lift into modified upward facing dog. Lower down and repeat. Inhale, hover and lift. Exhale, press upward facing dog. Good. Exhale, lower. This time, since we've practiced, maybe keep the hands on the earth. Practice moving through those two poses. If you notice too, I'm pressing my knees off of the earth, coming into that full upward facing dog. Beautiful. The next time you lower down, just melt your whole body to the earth, resting that forehead on top of your back hands. Bend the knees, sway or windshield wiper those shins from left to right. Neutraling out that spine by shaking out and swaying those hips left to right. Beautiful. Let's find our scorpion twist. Left hand reaches to the side, right hand by your chest. Bend the right leg, and you're going to lift and send it over your opposite leg, finding a gentle twist. The leg part is kind of the fancy part. You should really feel this in your left chest. If you notice your arm slid down towards your hips, bring it back so it's in a T position and maybe even in a cactus arm so you don't miss out on that chest stretch. It tends to be a common mistake because people think they need to just send their leg up and over and touch the ground. Now, if you don't need your right hand for support, go ahead and find that half bind again like we found it in our thread the needle. Hold for another round of breath. And then let's unwind and come into our other side scorpion. Extend that right arm to the side, like in a T position. Lift the left leg up and over, and make sure you're feeling that in your chest. If you feel well supported in this pose, go ahead and lift that left arm and find that half bind like we found on the other side and in our thread the needle. Hold and breathe and try to relax those facial muscles. Make sure that head is resting gently on the ground. Beautiful scorpion, unwind your twist. And we're going to come away from our belly poses and we're going to come back into a seated position. Pressing through that cobra and upward facing dog to tucking the knees under, setting the hips on the heels. Our next back bend will be a camel pose. So if you want to roll up that mat to have a bit more cushion underneath your knees, go ahead and do that now. Now we're going to move from beginner camel to a more advanced camel. Relax those facial muscles. And we're going to start with the heart. Start with unsupported hands. So inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades, lift the gaze. Think about that heart being pulled up to the sky like a string. And you're just going to keep pulling that string back and find your back bend. And you'll notice you can go pretty far. And this is where you'll want support for that lower spine. So place hands there and keep leaning back. Breathe gently. If you feel like you can reach those hands to your heels, go ahead and do that. This is definitely a more gentle yoga, so we're not going to quite go there if you don't want to. Find that neutral spine, tuck the chin, sit the hips on the heels, melt into your first child's pose, finding that gentle heart hug. Well done with moving the spine. Go ahead and get up from your child's pose and kick those legs in front of you. Scoot towards the front of your mat and gently roll down onto your back. We're going to find a nice straight spine. So go ahead and lengthen the legs. As you inhale, extend the arms above your head and see how far you can reach. Now to add to this pose, we're going to clasp the hands together with the index finger and thumb extended, and you'll notice you can squeeze those palms and extend even further. From here, I want you to think of someone just pulling at those wrists and your ankles, just really pulling the vertebrae away from each other and stretching your core, stretching your spine. As you breathe, I want you to keep that extension so it feels like a really small space, so you really add to that stretch. Let's find one more together. Inhale in. Exhale out. Release the hands. Drop them by your sides, finding that traditional corpse pose. And now we're going to find another back bend. Bend the knees. Now rotate your pelvis forward, lifting your back away from the earth and lifting your heart towards the sky. You'll notice you'll find just a little bit of a back bend. Reset the spine and do the same thing with the legs lengthened. So lengthen the legs and reset. Rotate that pelvis forward or your hips forward. Lift the heart. Feel that space grow between you and the earth. And then breathe out, melt back down into the earth. We're going to use those postures for our unsupported fish pose. Now this can feel really intense because our head is going to be on the earth. So you can also just come back to those poses or try this supported fish. We're going to create a diamond shape with our hands, and you're going to slide that diamond shape underneath your tailbone. So you can either bend your knees to kind of maneuver the hands underneath or just tuck them under with the legs straight. Now point the toes so you shift your weight down. Inhale, lift your heart, find that back bend, and touch the crown of your head to the earth. So now you're kind of in an upside down cow pose where your tailbone and crown of the head are pointing to your yoga mat. Head should just be lightly touching the mat. Weight is in your toes, calves, forearms, and palms. Breathe gently, thinking back to that camel pose as we're in this back bend. To gently come out of this pose, lift the head, tuck the chin, exhale out, and just slide those hands away from you, opening up the palms. Counter pose is your Savasana pose. Lay here for a couple moments, neutraling out your spine, resetting those vertebrae in their right position. Be still and strong. I leave you here in Savasana. Beautiful Shavasana. Go ahead and add movement back in, like turning the corners of your mouth up into a smile, wiggling the fingers, adjusting the knees. Tuck those knees into the belly, catch hold of the back of the legs, tuck your chin, and find just a couple yogi rolls to get away from the earth, leading to a seated position. When you get to that seated pose, readjust, bring hands to heart center. Be mindful and grateful that you worked on your spine and your heart today. Sending gratitude towards that movement, take your bow forward as respect to your practice. Namaste. Thank you for practicing with me today. Please subscribe so I'll see you next time.